You wear big hoop earrings, dragging down your lobes, they flap and fling and clink and chink off others' same, and ones in gold that spell your name. 6 loops in each ear, covered in makeup good, no shining here, a different shade for every year, a different shade from the one in your hands. You can't go out without your tan. 20 shades of tangerine, only on parts that can be seen, but when your belly's on display, your clothes are bound to move and sway and show the bits below the band of tan. It's really there to catch a man. And is it that the man wants tan, so as a fan of man, you buy in bulk tan in a can? Or is it that you're just too scared to show him what is really there, like the bright of your white would cause him such colossal fright that he'd take flight into the night and never again embrace your sight? Or is it that the man won't care, and that the tan is only there because there's nobody pale in Vanity Fair, and because you care you're not like her who's on the front with body bare? Or maybe, just maybe, there's some bigger con that's there to make you feel anon. In a world of gradient skin, they make you hate the one you're in. They make you want to be someone else. They make you loathe and hate yourself. But wait, just like a fairy tale, they offer alternatives to peel, and just like that, you're passing jail and buying Cantan by the bail. You're not alone. In fact, it looks like you've been cloned. Your skin colour's not your own. You've all been conned. Same con that makes your brown hair blonde, same con that makes you not respond when your body's being pawned for money that you'll never see. They take from you at liberty and leave you with no sense of me. Woo! Thank you. I wanted to begin with that poem because I think it highlights some of the barriers that women face in how we're supposed to be and how we're supposed to act. It's called The Con. And I wrote it a couple of years ago as a response to the fake tan phenomenon, but I always put a disclaimer on it. It's not about people who were fake tan. Thanks to my 2 sisters getting married, I've dabbled a wee bit myself. But I have to say, it's really about the institution of fake tan and how it uses women to make money that we never see. So whilst I'm talking about barriers, here we are in Stormont, the only place in Northern Ireland, the only place in the whole of the UK and Ireland where gay and lesbian people can't get married. And we're talking about moving forward. And when I sat down and wondered about what on earth I was going to talk about, it just hit me. It has to be equality, or better put, inequality. There's always been something holding women back. And I believe you can't truly move forward until you first discover and then deconstruct what it is that's been holding you back. And for women, that thing is inequality. Taking that first step is so difficult for women because we've been told from birth to stand still, whilst the boys around us are encouraged to jump off high things and see what happens. I mean, you never in your life heard somebody say, girls will be girls, as they witness a little girl running around with her skirt pulled up over her head, pretending it's a cape. No, that doesn't happen. As much as we'd like it to, that doesn't happen. She's told to stop that, to pull her dress back down, to be a good girl, and to play nice. And besides the obvious questions about why she's wearing a dress in the first place, it's totally impractical for playtime. It has to be obvious that telling girls to be good and telling boys to explore is going to have long-term effects on how we navigate our way through the world. I've got a story though about something that happened to me when I was young that stopped me wearing dresses and probably turned me into the raging lesbian you see before you. I mean, obviously not, that would be ridiculous, you know, but I do have a story about a dress. So picture the scene. It's a Sunday because I'm in my good Sunday clothes, as we call them. And despite being a dirt-loving, bruise-covered tomboy, I'm in a dress. I'm only about 5 years old, and it's one of those little sailor outfits that were really common in the 80s. In fact, I'm pretty sure there's somebody in the audience that had the adult version of my tiny little white pleated skirt, you know, the navy blazer, the gold buttons with the boats on them, the wee lapel at the back. Adorable. And does anyone else remember how hot the summers were in the 80s? I mean, I'm sure they're learning about it now in history class because all we seem to get is winter is coming. But anyway, there I am, out playing in my beloved sailor outfit, and I'm doing what any self-respecting 5-year-old growing up in a working class council estate's doing on a summer's day. I'm picking the tar in the road, the bubbles, picking them right out. I'm sure you can see where it's going. The tar, the white dress. Needless to say, I squealed like a banshee for at least an hour. I was utterly devastated, and thinking back on it, I couldn't help but wonder if I was somehow able to pick up on the condition in the girl's face, even being so small and being a dirt-loving tomboy. Was I somehow conditioned to understand that girls in dresses don't get dirty? Of course, I can only speculate. I don't really remember, you know, I've been told that story. But this sort of inequality was felt by my young tomboy self a number of times. I remember one time when I was 10 being told that I couldn't, having played football actually for my whole life up until that point, being told I could no longer play in the boys' team. Talk about gutted. There was no girls' team. I didn't play football again until I was 16, 6 years later. And my parents were supportive enough as well to let me go out and scavenge around and find bits of old bikes, frames, chains, pedals, you name it. Bring them all into the back garden and make a new bike out of it. I even sold one to a kid on our street. But it made me wonder again, had I been a boy, might I be an engineer by now or some kind of entrepreneur? The point here is that through this inequality forced between boys and girls, boys learn to take risks, to take that first step, and girls learn to stand still and be good. And my question is how? How then are we as women supposed to take that step forward in our lives? We need two things to move forward, in my view. Those two things are support and practice, and not necessarily in that order. And I know there are a lot of women out there who are living it, taking strides, not just steps. Some of them here in this very room. But for many women, it can seem like the hardest thing you'll ever have to do. And for some women, the gap is so huge they can't even see the steps there to be taken in the first place. But what if I told you that despite not being encouraged, evolution's on our side? In 2000, UCLA researchers Dr. Shelley E. Taylor and Dr. Laura C. Klein released a groundbreaking paper called Biobehavioral Responses to Stress in Women: Tend and Befriend, Not Fight or Flight. They posited the idea that because studies on responses to stress in the past 5 decades had predominantly used male subjects, that the widely held belief that either fight or flight were the only two responses to stress may not be applicable to females. And in fact, that women might bypass both of them completely for something that I find infinitely more interesting. What Klein said was that it seems when the hormone oxytocin is released as part of a stress response in women, that it actually buffers fight or flight and encourages her to tend to children and gather other women instead. When she actually does this tending or befriending, even more oxytocin is released, which further counters stress and actually produces a calming effect. Now, the same isn't possible in males because men produce excess testosterone when they're stressed, and testosterone counters the effect of oxytocin. Interestingly, estrogen enhances it. Is that not unbelievable? I find that absolutely fascinating that as women, our default stress reaction is to seek each other out in this biological sense. It opens up a whole new world of support, especially if we go on the premise that as women, we are living under constant stress. And when you think about it, we generally are. I mean, we live under the constant threat of rape and violence. Between 2013 and 14, in Northern Ireland alone, over 27,000 domestic violence incidents were reported. 27,000, that's too many. We're told to protect ourselves, to get home safe, to cover our drinks, never walk alone at night, and if you absolutely must walk alone at night, carry a rape alarm, or carry some pepper spray, or put your keys between your fingers like I do. We're objectified at every turn, we're underrepresented in government, we don't have full control over our bodies in terms of access to abortion, we're sold off as child brides, and we are harassed in the streets at alarming levels. And as if all of that isn't stressful enough, women wear bras every single day of our lives. I'd like to take just a moment's silence for the sheer trauma of wearing a chest-squeezing, breast-stealing, man-made apparatus that is universally uncomfortable. Yes, thank you. are in this constant state of stress, and I believe that we are. And if women under stress seek each other out, then isn't it scientifically inevitable that we will find the support we need? And isn't it scientifically inevitable that we're all in the same boat anyway? If evolution has our backs in terms of finding support and staying calm in times of stress, isn't it logical that the stress of taking that first step will actually lead us to exactly the type of support that we need? Doesn't it make sense then that all we need to do is be brave, reach out and move forward? Evolution will guide us to our tribe, and we'll have taken the freedom that boys have been given since birth for ourselves. We're doing it already. So many women have found support in each other, in shared interests and goals. So many women have paved the way for us. All we have to do is follow them. All we have to do is forget the conditioning we received as children and recondition our lives for ourselves. When I first started writing this talk, I had the idea that I wanted to tell women or encourage women to be nice to each other, to be kind to each other, to support each other. And then I realised that as a woman, I'm actually sick to death of being told to be kind and nice. I'm sick to death of being told what to do in general. In fact, I think we're all sick to death of being controlled and being afraid to be who we are. And so I started to get angry instead. And I think it's time we all got a bit angry, to get so damn pissed off at the state of things for women that we're forced to take that first harrowing step. And believe me, when you do, evolution will be there cheering you on and leading you to seek out other women, and all the while giving you all the oxytocin you need to keep you calm. Now you can do small things to help you take those steps. One brilliant example is taking up public space. We just don't do that enough as women. Walk down the street with your head held high. Walk like you own the street. I've been doing this for quite a long time now. Don't get me wrong, it's so liberating when you try it. Sit up tall in your seat, take up space on public transport. You have every right to be there, as much right as anybody else. Soon enough, you'll have taken enough small steps that you'll find yourself in a position where you're able to take a massive stride forward for yourself. And whatever happens, when you get there, always remember how hard you worked to get there. Women get that, imposter syndrome thing, where we think we're faking it, where we don't belong in the position we're in, and that at any moment somebody's going to come along and realise we're an imposter. It's just not true. In fact, it's part of that conditioning we're all just about to start forgetting, remember? It's extremely important to never ever forget how hard you work to get where you are. So if our bodies have developed the extraordinary evolutionary capacity to sidestep stress by seeking out other women to support us, all we really have to do is allow ourselves the freedom to forget all you've been told about how you should be and get out there and be yourself. Speak up for yourself. Speak up for others as well. Find the people who are interested in the same things as you. Take up space. Take the freedom, make mistakes, fall over, and trust that we will be there to pick you up if you fall, sister. No one is going to hand it to you. This is a call to arms. Not to bear arms, but to link arms and wade through the world together. Leave no woman behind. Leave no dream behind, and start demanding more for yourselves. We are not commodities. We are not vessels. We are not objects, and we are not afraid. So get out there and take what's yours. There's enough for everybody. Thank you.